Now, in the last week, all of us have received in the post copies of this document of information about the impending ballot for a convention whose aim will be to prepare the ground for any desirable referendum to consider and approve or reject changes to our constitution. Now, the issue is actually far bigger than simply whether we want to have a monarchy or a republic, whether Australia requires a crowned head or a president. That is not the main issue, because whatever choice we make of that matter, we are left with the problem that this document alone provides for a forum for discussion, and we have to consider many other issues apart from that, legal, practical, financial, that affect the Constitution. So in short, it's very desirable that people give every effort to study this proposal, to look at the candidates' aims for the convention, and to take the trouble to vote. Now, the issues can be clouded, I think, by making too much of the monarchy versus republic issue which Mr. Keating raised. There is, however, no doubt that if we choose either system to continue the monarchy or to have a republic in this country, in any event, the powers and activities of those heads of state in that system and the relation to other parts of the Constitution will require re-examination. If you must have a republic, are you going to have a president chosen by Parliament or by popular vote? Will the person be chosen for 3, 5 or 7 years of office? Will you require the person to be born in Australia, as the Americans would in their country? There are many other issues we need to raise of this sort. For example, we would have to look very closely at, again, the use of the title. Presidents in the world are two a penny, and some very unsavoury types like Marcos and company have held that role in some countries. And it seems to me that some people might rather use the good English title for the head of a commonwealth after the English Civil War, I mean Protector, which Mr. Whitlam raised some years ago. If you want to have your monarchy, retaining it, do you mean that you want the status quo to continue, unchanged, as most members of this body, the Australian for the Constitutional Monarchy, have been advocating? In fact, this insistence made it impossible for me to join them. Or do you, as I would like, want to have another member of the dynasty here in Australia as our resident and permanent head of state, with hereditary succession, on the ground that it meets Mr. Keating's justifiable point about the need to have a local resident head of state in this country, and at the same time it provides members of an old and important dynasty who would far more easily win the respect of the ancient royal families of Thailand, Nepal or Japan than would a temporary president of this country. Again, if you still think monarchy should not be abandoned, but you don't want a resident sovereign either, nor the present system as it is, what would you like? Would you like the new sovereign in Great Britain next time to be required to be crowned like the old Habsburg emperor was in each one of his dominions? And if so, would he be required to come once a year to open Parliament for the budget session to distance himself and to distance his role from the policies of London in certain directions regarding the European Union and the world economy? If so, of course, it would be rather nice if we could choose Melbourne Cup Week for the sovereign to come out to deal with the federal budget. Now, there are all these possibilities before us, and you must allow the convention the opportunity to explore all of these matters. This is not just a simple one-issue debate that will be going on. And so it's important that you should think carefully about what you want the future of your country to be. It may be the last big chance we should ever have to re-examine the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Australia in detail. So, please, I do entreat you, make every possible point to go and take part by posting your ballot back, to give attention to what happens in these debates, and, above all, to recognise that citizens' responsibility in this matter cannot be evaded.